What is going on today, guys? It is the Black Lantern Brooklyn Vale joining us for another episode of Late Night with Take 3. This is a little more later than usual, just because my schedule and I usually work mornings, but I've been able to push it back to later because I work later on tomorrow. But enough about that. This is a great show, very super kind of laid back. We talk about movie games, movies, pop culture. Just a great fun show. Way to kind of kickstart the weekend. But I have to introduce the great panel. I believe this is actually almost the exact same panel that we had last week. So I will go. I'll go to my fellow Canadian. She is the Canadian Nightmare, Harley Bork. Harley, how are we doing?
Pretty good. I hope everyone watched the epic Star Wars call out, Iron Man style, over at Full Metal Media Live just a couple hours ago between one of our fellow panelists and, of course, glutton for punishment, Nico.
Yes, we do. I am guilty, especially of picking on Nico quite a bit. The old hashtag House of Night Furry. But yeah, you transitioned very well. An excellent segue into our other panelists. I believe, like, if I were to fly for PEI to the Netherlands, it's probably the same as flying to Ontario. That'd be the Grand Admiral Case Cornelius. Case, how are we doing?
I'm doing pretty good, I'd say. If you saw the match, you know how that turned out. I mean, Nico, Nico. That's all I'll say about that. Watch the match; it's fun. I scored a lot of points. That's the point. I'm here. I'm excited for the show. Let's do this.
All right, and last but definitely not least, he is our producer, the man behind the scenes, the Crusher, Malcolm Goldie-Lay. Malcolm, how are we doing today?
Pretty good. Just ready to do this, and we will have two more people joining us by the end of the night.
Yeah. Our other panelists today are going to be Sandy, the Sandman Robinson, and the Cobblepot Commander Chris Clark. They will be joining us momentarily. But yeah, this is, again, it's not really it's kind of a more laid back approach. So they'll probably be hopping in here eventually. So yeah, our first part of the show is the week in the world. Talk about everything worldwide movie games and another packed weekend, or another packed week, I guess. Starting off with last weekend, it was actually right after. It was a day after late night last week. We started the charity event We Are the World for Kirk and Daisy. We had 8 matches over the weekend. And they were for charity. I forget the name of the charity itself, but it was to go towards rescue dogs. Red Rover, yeah. Yeah, they were basically it was dogs who were in horrible situations. They were kind of get rescued out of there and brought into proper, loving families. And what a weekend it was! I was actually able to compete in 2 of the matches. And even though I lost in both efforts, I had a lot of fun. But I want to go to Case first because Case actually helped kick off the weekend in a match against Mr. DVD, Mike Hanley. Case, the match didn't go in your favor. Round 2, I think you had Kurt Russell.
No. Movie insults.
Oh, yes.
They're pretty well at that. Yeah, the thing was, Mike is a good competitor for sure, and I've faced him before, and I know that he knows his stuff, and I know that I'm not the best at regular movie trivia. I was just going in there to have a fun match and to make sure that we started the weekend off good, and I think we did. I think we had a fun match where the first round, neither of us had a great round, but we got close to each other. 4-3 from Mike. Then the second round, he spends first and he hands off movie insults to me. He was essentially just making sure that I didn't get any of my strengths, which is Star Wars or animated, because after the match, we tested Star Wars questions. I got all of them on the 2-pointer. So yeah, that just shows that he really didn't want to make sure that Star Wars was a thing. And he gave movie insults to me, but he gets classics, something he's not good at, apparently. Even though Jeremy said the classics questions were kind of easy, either, so I didn't get any steals of that. But I had a good round with movie insults because for some reason quotes I do well at usually. I'm not the best at them, but I do well at them. Like if I know the quote, I'll know the movie for sure, and that's why I did very well in that round. Got all the questions right. After that, I was up by a point. Mike scores his 2-pointer. I score my 3-pointer. I missed my 2-pointer, and then I need to answer my 5-pointer. And it was LA Confidential, a movie I've never seen. I'm sorry to anyone who loves that movie. I know it's one of the movies that a lot of people say, watch it. But yeah, it's just that movie. I don't know Guy Pearce that well in his filmography. I lose the match, but I had a good time. I had a fun time, and I think that was a good match to start the weekend off. So that's essentially all I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that actually takes us into the next match of the night. This ugly bastard made his debut in the very league that he created. Went up against Matthew Rosa, Malcolm Lay, and Caleb Coho. And a Weird Al Iron Man match. It was the first time I competed, and as well as the first Iron Man match at Jukebox Trivia. Definitely will not be the last, as we do have one scheduled for the end of August in a Billy Joel Elton John style. But Malcolm, actually, I want to send it over to you. Those questions were tough. Chris definitely went deep into the well of Weird Al. Having some time now, having the week to kind of ponder over the match itself. What did you think about the overall effort of the group? Do you think that maybe on a better day, like on a non-charity weekend, do you think we would have done a little bit better?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because a lot of those questions are ones that I should have known and regretted missing. I mean, I did try Albuquerque until it actually was an answer, but I mean, it's one of those ones when you get someone like Weird Al with a whole bunch of songs and albums out there, then you're going to get some that you may not have come across before, and all then. I mean, and most important thing is we both still beat Caleb, so I mean that's
yes. That is well, Matthew did win by I think a 10 or 11 point lead. The important thing is that Caleb got last. That is the end goal. As long as we can beat Caleb, I'm happy and I can go to bed comfortably. And then that actually takes us into the main event of Saturday, which was a Full Metal admin Civil War, and how fitting that we have one of the Full Metal admins here, Harley Borg. Your thoughts on the match? Watching your comrades kind of compete and battle it out to see who was the best of the bunch.
I'm glad I stayed out of it, and I was just there to be the last, or I guess the second last person standing, because of course you got to include the winner, and of course everyone there would have destroyed me handily, even though unfortunately for Sandy there, trust me, I just know that does nothing for what he knows. As he was a semi-finalist in the team tournament for There Will Be Trivia.
Yeah.
Beat some amateur.
Yeah, he has a #1 contenders match coming up.
Like that one bad game is not what you know. Does not prove what you know. Trust me on that. But it was a hell of a match. It was really, really fun to watch. The call with Jeff and Case here. And speak of the devil, look who just showed up.
Speaking of the devil, there we have him.
Sandy the Sandman Robinson. We were just talking about the Full Metal Full Metal admin Civil War last Saturday as part of the charity event. Your thoughts on the match?
Well, let me first say here to the entire crew that I have in front of me here, I am so sorry that I'm late. It was very unprofessional of me. I apologize for that. As for the Full Metal Admit match for charity, thank you guys all so much for everything you guys donated to the charity. Really, really do appreciate that first and foremost. What do we want to talk about? The one question I got right, or the 15 questions that I got wrong? Let's talk about the one that I got right.
Andy, after you got eliminated, we saw your whiteboard. You had a lot of questions right there.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, that's what I was getting to there, Harley. I was, like my one question that I got right when the lights were on the head, yay. And then, when it didn't count or anything like that, I started to score some points, but it was all fun. There's no way that I walk into that match with those people on that panel and go, yeah, no, this is going to be a cinch. Nah, come on. Like, no, it was all for fun. I had a really bad off game. I don't intend to bring that kind of skill to my next matches or anything like that. But you know what? We all learn this from every match that we've done and had a dog meat match. Is that what happens to everybody? And that was. I'm gonna hope the fun one was my one. So it was a great time. It was a great weekend. Everybody pitched in and did such a great job, including Brooklyn. With your jukebox stuff was fantastic, including K's with the There Will Be Trivia stuff. Everybody else who participated in there, you guys did all great. I'm really just thankful.
Awesome. Yeah. And thank you to everybody who did donate. I believe we got around like the 150, 170, 200.
Yeah.
Props to the community. I believe we're around like 150, 175 strong. So good to see the people putting money towards a good cause. Next up on the docket was a match that we're just going to kind of skip over here.
No.
No, that doesn't happen. Some idiots with shades were like, oh my God, Spartacus is the next contenders in the world. It's getting and then we couldn't back up our talk. But all jokes aside, kayfabe aside, Ed and I talked about that after the match. Like, we weren't bummed about our performance. Like, it just it was unfortunate that we both had like mid to low scoring round ones. Like, there's a couple questions that I kind of look back on, like that Rosemary's Baby question. Like, that movie popped out of my head first, and I'm like, that seems too obvious. So I was like, I'll put that Halloween, and then actually to this day, I'm still adamant that that whole Suicide Squad, and then Nico mentioning, oh, it was an Academy Award-winning film, and they're like, oh, it helped you guys just as much, and I'm like, if Jeremy did the same thing, you guys would have been furious. But anyways, enough said. We could not beat a Spartacus team that was blazing. They were absolutely on fire. Even though we did not miss a question in round two, they did well in spy movies, gave us the old knockouts. Case, I want to go to you. You were a host there. Your thoughts on the match, real quick.
I was, yeah. This was a crazy match because, look, Spartacus is a team that we kind of expected to do what they did in this match in the first time that you faced each other. For some reason, that didn't happen the first time because they got numbers. Now they got a category that apparently they are better at. They had a perfect game. Jen missed only the bonus question. Other than that, they scored every single point. They hit every single question they had in that match. Had to go a couple of multiple choice in round two, but not a lot. So it just shows that if they show up with that kind of a performance, then yeah, you guys are good. Both you and Ed, as Royal Flush, you guys are good. It's just if Smarticus shows up with that kind of performance, then there's nothing you can really do against it. So it was just unfortunate for you, but as you say, you had a good second round for sure, and I do want to have you guys back because you are 2-2. That's a pretty good record, yeah. So I think that's a pretty good record. I do want you guys back. I'm really excited to see what Smarticus does after this.
We do plan to be back, and then that's actually a great segue because we did have somebody on our hit list. The team of the I think, as Nico put it earlier in the week, the Canned Yam Express. That'd be Harley and Tim.
Still a better name than House Night Furries.
It is a much better name than the House of the Night Furries. Harley, we're buddies. You and I and Tim, we were
now.
Oh yeah, we've always been buddies. We were part of a former league, and now we're going to work each other. We'll destroy you, but I'll say sorry first. Your thoughts? Just very quickly, your thoughts on the match as a host and being called a people.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. And talking with Jessica earlier in the night, the condition that she was in, and to put in a perfect first round plus the bonus question is insane. Jen herself too, just missing the bonus question. Like, in all honesty, with two people coming up with almost 18 questions in the 18 points in the first round, that kind of makes it hard. Uh, you can come back from it, once that happens. But you guys had a really good second round there. It helped. It just unfortunately, Jen and Jessica were on their game, so they were so on their game. It was
They
they beat
def-
they probably beat everyone in that if they had continued playing like that. But I'd really like to see Jen versus Jessica. Like I want to see those two in a one-on-one match. So I think that'll be a really fun the Smartacus Civil War.
Just has to get some wins for that, but
Yeah,
we might get there.
yeah,
Oh,
we'll get there.
She
I
definitely
want to see that happen.
Cool. So then that takes us into the next match, which I thought was like I thought was match of the weekend with Matt versus Medea in the battleground blind match. It's like very interesting in terms of like just how they're kind of able to kind of think on their feet and come up with these interesting arguments. Malcolm, I want to go to you. I don't think I've your thoughts on the battleground blind match and Mac being able to get the win there in the end. But yeah, your thoughts.
Yeah, that battleground match was interesting. Like, I mean, there's a few of those questions which, I mean, there's so many options. So, like the MCU, the worst MCU villain, and I think was one and all that. But yeah,
Where was Malekith?
Ultron. That is Ultron every day.
But I mean, there was fun. Like it's harder enough doing a battleground match when you actually know the questions are getting prepared beforehand. But to do it blind without knowing the questions beforehand is incredible. And I mean, Matt showed me that he actually can debate quite well because yeah, like I'm pretty sure this is the first one he's actually had. I'm pretty sure he was 0-4 at one stage. He was down the bottom with Subrif and all that as well. So yeah.
All right, and then that actually takes us into it's great that Sandy's on here now because we're going to talk about the debut of a Full Metal Geek, and what a stacked card that we had. You had the winner Eli McKeag, you had Nico Suave Rigoli, Paul Wolf coming in to compete. I'm blanking on the other competitors. So Sandy, this is actually a great time to take it over to you. As the kind of the creator of Full Metal Geek, what were your thoughts on the inaugural match, and did it go as planned?
Okay, so yeah, I don't have the list of people right up in front of me right now either. But we had a great crew for that first match. It was a real thrill to have Paul Wolf join us. I mean, he'd pretty much been, non-existent up until his match on the Schmodown or the Rundown Schmodown. And how handily he handled the rest of those guys over there. I love to keep on saying that because they really got their asses kicked. But it was nice to have him there. You know what? It was nice to get that first match off the ground. I think everybody had a fun time. I think everybody understood that the questions weren't going to be, they weren't going to be beginner levels. This isn't a beginner level deal. You got to know your stuff to get out of our matches to get over to Worldwide Movie Games, where we're going to be doing the tournament at some point there. So I was just really happy with everybody. I had a lot of fun. There was a lot of talking in that first match. A couple of questions went a little bit wrong on that one, just wording wise. So it's always a learning experience for me too, and it just makes me appreciate and love the people who write questions and dedicate themselves to doing stuff like that, like Brooklyn K's and the guys over at Multiplex, the guys over at Jeremy and Alex and Chance and everybody over there. Anybody who puts their pen to paper, their hands to a keyboard, making questions, I tip my hat to you guys, because it can take it takes a lot of work, and doing that match plus the Star Wars call out that we just did today, it takes a lot of work to do that stuff. So when it's appreciated and when things go well and everybody has a good time, what else can I expect from that? I can't. I had a great time with everybody on there. Everybody was nice and respectful. I'm looking forward to the match that the gentleman on my screen is going to be on. I've already got his match all set up. So he's going to be good to go in this. That's right. I'm talking about UK's. Malcolm, yeah, I don't want you to worry about it either, because guess what? I'm making the announcement right here. 2 people on this list, Malcolm and Kays, are being teamed up together in match number 3 of Full Metal Geek. It's going to be an all-European or other side of the country match. Cool. So we're going to have people like Jan is going to be in there. Subrath is going to be in there. It's going to be a nice. Mixture of people as well. So I'm not quite ready to make the announcement on who's in match number 2, but that will hopefully be going sometime later next week. But that's also. By the
way, if I can tie into that, I've written your match because you write the questions for us and I write the questions for you. So whenever you have a schedule for a match of people that you want to be involved with, we can do that. So that's
absolutely. And absolutely, and I knew that, and I'll thank Kays right off the bat here. I appreciate you stepping up and writing that match. I've got Robert Parker helping me with some matches. You guys all know Robert Parker. He wrote me a bunch of Star Wars questions, and Renee. Renee from Full Metal, RJ, he wrote a bunch of he wrote a bunch of Lord of the Rings questions for me, just because, as you guys know, it takes a ton of time to write this stuff, and if we can get help from people, it's always fantastic. So I just wanted to call out those people, and not only that, but I got Jeremy's writing me some Full Metal matches, or Full Metal Geek matches too, so everybody's pitching in for it. It's going to be a great time. We're going to get through all these matches, and you know what, when we say the one ring to rule them all, guess what? It actually means something when we do this tournament, because it does. Kind of in our wheelhouse.
Yeah. Also, just to add in, the other 2 competitors for last Sunday match was Jessica and Caleb.
Caleb Coho, Aaron Connell, Matt.
Matt Qualler.
Sorry, Matt, I'm going to butcher your name again. It's cool. All right, I'll let Kays do it. So Kays, you give him the last name. We had a bunch of great competitors last time. So I'm really happy about that. It's going to go forward, and we're going to have some fun.
Yeah, it's great to hear, and it's kind of off topic, but I do want to kind of elaborate on it. It's great to hear just question writers and everybody sort of coming together, for me in terms of Jukebox Trivia. I wrote when we started, I wrote a ton of questions. But along the way, I actually people offered to write questions for me, and I'd reach out. Sean Sandberg wrote an entire match for me. Caleb Coho wrote an entire match for me.
I can write some EDM for you if you want.
Yeah, maybe.
Nah, nobody likes the music.
Sean Sandberg, Caleb Coho, Jeremy has written me some great 80s and album release day questions. Sandy has written me some good metal ones. I have a great team now of Jim Green, Jess Morgan. Luca has written some interesting questions for sure. And then even Chris has kind of taken the lead on the Weird Al Iron Man match. So and it's great to have this kind of sort of community where we're able to go to each other and just be like, hey, I need some help writing in this, and it's something that it's really your expertise. Can you help me out here? And it's great that we're kind of have this interlinked relationship. But yeah, let's get
interlinked. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. Let's get into the entire week that was World Night Movie Games. So I'm going here based on upload schedule. So the first thing that got uploaded this week was the Full Metal episode 7 of season 2, I believe. And that had Robert Parker defeating idiots like myself, Caleb Coho, Matthew Rosa, and Michael Campbell. Fuck numbers. They can go fuck themselves all the way to hell. That goddamn School of Rock question. You guys missed it because it got lagged out. But this thing got thrown across the entirety of my room. You heard a loud noise that actually scared the shit out of my dog, and I got a concerned death stare from my wife. So it was an interesting night, but it was definitely worth it. Let's go to Malcolm. Your thoughts on the match? Would you have done as well with Beatles being the secret category that was in round 2?
Yeah, I mean, it was most definitely a fun match. That category of the Beatles, I wouldn't have done that well. I probably would have done just as well as everyone else did because I like Beatles music in that, but half the movies that they brought up I didn't remember about at all.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go next into because I kind of want to run through this quick because actually there's a lot more things that I kind of want to talk about. It's kind of a packed list here. I want to talk about Jukebox right quick. That was the next one. That's up on Monday night, and we see Harley kind of fucking off there. Jim unfortunately defeated Harley via a TKO. But to be fair, they both struggled in round 2. Jim taking alt rock and not doing super, but then Harley kind of like. I want to go to you, Harley, because like even Nico asked you at the end of the match. You took 2000s and you went kind of aggressive, and then in hindsight, it ended up being kind of your downfall because Jim was able to get a couple of lucky steals, I guess. If you were to not pick 2000s, the other categories there were Killers and When You Were Young. What would you have picked? And looking back at it now, kind of your thoughts on your performance.
Like I said, if you were young or whatever it's called, if it was all about the one song they used for and WWE used for their early days of NXT, and maybe I would have picked that. But what are the chances of that really happening? And Killers, like that's actually vague. Like, are we talking about like a bunch of killers from history, or is there an actual band called Killers that I'm unaware of? I'm not sure. 2000s, like the 90s, I'd say late 90s or mid to late 90s.
There's a band named Killers, by the way.
Through some of the 2000s would be probably the best knowledge for me when it comes to music. And I would not say it was a really aggressive and it didn't backfire. It backfired me. Unfortunately, Jim got the first question that I got wrong, but unfortunately that was a 2-pointer. But he did not get the other ones. So and I think I got my last question round 2. So I'd say it relatively paid off because like if I'd given him multiple choice, that would have led to me guessing. If I'm wrong, that cuts his options down from 1 in 50 to 103. So I just figured that would have helped instead of me just blanketly answering. I'd like to think that it did because like it didn't lead to him really stealing too much from me, but damn Britney Spears and actually started in '98. I kind of thought that her career started in 2000, and I was wrong about that.
Oh, no worries at all.
Late 90s.
So that
I remember.
Yeah. That's right.
Some Spice Girl questions or something like that. Like that would have been better.
Case, your question for 4 million points. Name all members of the Spice Girls.
I don't know that. I mean, I like the Spice Girls fine, but I don't know. I don't know the members.
Spice World's one of the greatest movies of all time.
I believe Sandy had his hand raised first. I'll let him go first.
You want their Spice Girl names or their actual names?
Their actual names.
Surprises.
No, well, I don't care about their real names. It was Baby Spice. It was Scary Spice.
Yes. I know there's
Sporty Spice. It was Posh Spice, and it was Ginger Spice.
Yes.
And you're also forgetting about Old Spice.
Yeah, that's what they are now.
So I guess, Sandy, what you were asking is what we want, what we really, really want. Sorry.
I'm glad somebody got it.
Throw your ball down, Grant. Turn it over.
I really did, like, just lob that over the net for somebody. So,
all I can think of now is the Simpsons episode. Whenever I think it's Ralph is like elected for president or something, and he's in the washroom and he's singing like, "I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, really, really want." And then Principal Skinner comes in. He's like, "Ralph, are you done peeing?" And Ralph's like, "I was done before I came in." Anyways, enough about the great show, The Simpsons. Let us get into what I'm unofficially calling the week of Mr. VHS, as we saw him compete in singles and in teams. Unfortunately, his singles match did not go so well.
Did we bring up Paul versus Nazario?
Well, that's what we're bringing up right now because Nazario is Mr. VHS. That's why I called him.
Sorry, my bad. My bad.
The more you know. All right. Actually, you know what, Kay? Since you were paying attention so much, let us go to you. Your thoughts on the great Paul defeating Nazario.
I was a little disappointed in this match. I thought Nazario would do better because Nazario has done better. That's essentially why we teamed, like we matched these guys, because we were like, these are technically 0-0 in our league, but if you look at what they've done, Paul is part of the team champs, and Nazario has killed it in Full Metal a lot of times. So we know both of these guys can really have some deep trivia knowledge. But then, Nazario just didn't have a good round 2. They both had a okay round. Nazario didn't have a good round 1. Both had an okay round 2. Nazario just needed to hit his 5-pointer to make sure that Paul actually answered anything in the IMDb round. Paul. So I think at the one point, it was just a bad day for Nazario. At the other side, Paul showed that besides the fact that he's one half of the team champions, he should be in that singles league, and he might actually take the belt at one point. And I really think that at one point that will happen because he is really that good of a competitor. So, that's what I think.
Actually, before I get into the next match, I realized I haven't talked to the cool kids in the chat. Harley, I know you're kind of paying attention here. Any cool kids we got in the chat? Anybody? Any comments? Any funny dank memes, as the icon would say? No.
No, unfortunately, no.
Chat is super dead. Alrighty.
Can I a little bit about Paul? Sandy, when it comes to Full Metal, how many questions do you think Paul's gotten wrong in all of our matches?
Oyama?
Yeah. You can probably count on one hand.
That's a good question. I don't even know if I would uncurl the thumb.
Yeah, I know. I know that's so good.
I legit think that he is. If we can get him into more matches, and we can get him to play for the rest of the play for the rest of the season, I think he's going to be this year's champion. So
he already is our challenge winner. Like he defeated Jessica. But granted, it came down to one question for both of them. But then it was just like that's how good I've compared both of them are. But it's just Paul's on a different level for the most part.
He's chance scary, guys. I'm not even making that up. Paul Oyama is chance scary. And
he's a champion.
And Chance is a multi-champion over multiple leagues. So and Paul I get what you're saying now. And he's one half of the tag team champions in worldwide movie games. So I mean, come on, the guy is legit. So
all right, so that takes us into actually. It's great that we talk about teams because the next match we're going to go into is Blockbuster taking on the Merry Window Murderers, being the kind of the I guess like the kind of enthusiastic, laid back approach of Mike and Nazario taking on the absolute shit talkers that are Asher and Lucas. The thing that kind of stood out to me, and I'm kind of curious to hear what everybody else's thoughts is that in round 2, Blockbuster got their strength and View Askew / Kevin Smith or whatever, and they went 7-12 in terms of points. Not awful, but when it's your top strength and like you brag that's your strength, I'm a little concerned. So I'll go to Malcolm. If you get 7-12 in your big strength, is that something? Even though you got the win, you go back to the whiteboard to kind of readjust, or is it just do you keep steady with that strength and just kind of study a little bit more?
I think it's a case of like when you come up with a strength, and and especially if Jeremy knows it's his strength, he comes up with so many questions. He ramps it up so hard. It's like, this is a strength. I'll make the questions that little bit harder to see if I can trip them up, which he did. But I mean, it's one of those things like I know Kevin Smith, but I don't know enough to do better than that. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like they've just got to keep studying because I mean, like it's a strength. So I mean, wouldn't call it a strength for nothing. That's for sure.
Yeah. Case, Sandy, your thoughts on Blockbuster defeating the Murderers? I mean, did anybody, like, to kind of be blunt here, did anybody really have Merryweather Murderers kind of defeating Blockbuster?
I'll tell you what. I was there as third judge, but I wasn't on the feed. But I'll tell you what.
You were my co-host.
Was I the co-host?
Yeah,
you were my co-host during that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, my bad. Sorry, there's so much going on last week. I'm just like time. I don't even know. I thought it was Saturday all day today. Just staying.
No, it's understandable.
So, no, I'll tell you what. Those guys, the Window Murder, those guys are such good shit talkers that it is remarkable. Like just the sheer amount of noise that can come out of both of their mouths at a continual pace for the entire match was absolute. I had to shut my camera feed off like 3 times and my mic off legit 3 times because I was laughing so hard. They can be annoying too. Don't get me wrong. It was a bit annoying, especially when, the other guys were thinking about their questions and Lucas was like, blah, 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 through the whole time, but we got them under control and they know for next time that it's not going to be handled. That was great. Yeah. But the thing is that when you pull your strength, Mike and Nazario, and don't get me wrong, Mike and Nazario gave as good as they got. They handed them, they handed them their butts with some talking too. So, they're not, the nicest guys, to get on the bad side of, because they'll smack talk you down too. But when you get your strength, you could see flat out that, it was Mike's deal. Nazario had really not a lot of information when it came to Kevin Smith. Mike second guessed himself on a couple of things. And when you start doing that on your strength, you end up with a 7 out of 12. Now, I mean, it didn't affect them, poorly, in that round, because when you get 7 out of 12, that's still a pretty decent second round. The other team has to then pull out, a great round as well, and
they did actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. The thing is that Blockbuster Video had an extremely good round 1 where they had a big lead, and it was really hard for Mario and the Murderers to come back from. The second round, it doesn't matter if you bank on the strength of one player or both of the players. If you bank on the strength of one player, you should get all 12, or you should at least get all questions. And I do think that a couple of questions that were missed by Mike were fairly easy, and even in the comment section, people said, "Hey, I'm maybe not the best at Kevin Smith, but I did better than you guys." So that just shows that Mike might want to reconsider Kevin Smith for his strength. And I think that they should choose a strength that they're both good at as a team. Because seriously, if I get like 7 out of 10, 7 out of 12 in Star Wars, I'd be pissed at myself. Like I can't imagine me getting that. So, but the thing is,
it'd be just like Star Trek.
What?
It would be just like me with Star Trek. If I went in and we got Star Trek as a strength, and I walked out, if I second guessed myself on those answers, my response to that is that okay, well, guess what? I got to go out and I got to start watching the movies that I'm not as familiar with because I just got crushed on those ones. So that's what I would say. That's what I would say to Mike. You know what? He's got a really good depth of Kevin Smith. Just go back and watch the stupid movies that nobody likes because you know that's where we're going to get or that's where we're going to get our questions from. It's like whenever I do Geek, guess what? A Howard the Duck question or a 96 or a 90, 86 Punisher is going to get thrown in there. Guess what? It's going to happen. So you better go back and watch all those crappy movies because guess what? The good movies get really stripped. We strip the good movies.
I think Harley. I think Harley is trying to set a record for most times walking off mid podcast. Right now.
Howard the Duck. How? Why? That movie's fantastic.
Howard the fucking Duck.
Howard the Duck is the best Marvel movie. I don't care what anyone says. It's the best Marvel movie.
Okay, now I'm gonna walk off.
I watched it the other day to prepare for the Geek question, and it is bad from start to finish. It
is.
Okay, so bad it's good. So bad it's good.
I almost fault George Lucas for making that movie, and I almost take
By the way, he didn't
Star Wars because of that movie. So,
no, but with anyway. Coming back to Merry Window Murderers versus Blockbuster Video, despite the round 2, Blockbuster Video had an amazing round 1 where they both scored 7 out of 8 for a total of 14 points, and they had a really good IMDb round. I think they got all of them. So that just shows that Blockbuster Video, they lost again. Their only loss is against the current team champs. So it shows that Blockbuster Video is definitely the team to look out for at this point. And they want Smarticus next. So both 2 and 1, both with amazing performances in the last match. I can't wait for that team match. I really want that. And I do think that either of them, whoever wins it, will win the belts at one point. So that's just exciting stuff for There Will Be Trivia, and I can't wait for that to happen.
I have something to say about that, but we'll wait till that time.
Oh yeah. I know.
Alrighty.
I also want to say, like, as someone, one of the 2 people that have actually seen the full audio and video of the last Merry Window Murderers match between Team 80s here. No.
Huh? What?
That they faced in the tournament before they got eliminated? No? Oh, no. Kill Chemistry. My bad. Sorry. You host a bunch of different matches. But no, it's like that match was... I get the entertainment out of the Merry Window Murderers. Like, that match was hilarious just to be co-host for. So, hey, just tone it down a little bit during the match. Like, outside of the actual competition... Keep it up though. You guys are both entertaining as anything. So
that's all hell.
Yeah, as all HG double sippy straw as my idol Ned Diddley Ed Flanders likes to say. All right, guys. So I think into our second portion of the podcast. Hollywood happenings is where we talk about all things movie news. If you the cool kids in the chat, if you have anything you want us to talk about, by all means, fire it down in the chat. We'll try and catch it there. But the kind of the big things that I picked out throughout the week. The biggest one I would say is the Disney Fox Comcast shenanigan kind of deal. They're not sure what's going on. Like, do they kind of split up Fox? Do they kind of tear them apart limb by limb? We're not really sure. The trailer for Dumbo, even though it's not being released until March 2019, I'm kind of skeptical on the trailer, but that is neither here nor there. Captain Marvel announcing that they are going to have the first female composer in the MCU, which is good. It's good, but it doesn't need to be like top line stories. And then actually, I'd say probably my the thing I'm most intrigued about is Jeff Johns stepping down from the kind of the head sort of senior consultant part of DC Comics, the DC universe, to focus on Green Lantern, which I think is super. But I want to go to I'll go all the way down. Harley, what was the news this week that stood out to you the most?
With this, we were talking about this off camera. When it comes to the importance of Wonder Woman having the female composer, it's not that we're not like it's not something that shouldn't happen or something like that we're talking about. It's the fact that it's 2018. We should be long past this point where that's the big story. It should be like, oh yeah, no, that's no big deal. Of course, it's a case of of course that's going to happen. It's not a big deal. It already should be more of a focus of everyone's going to be treated equally. Everyone's the equal parts. It's just like that's what we're trying to get across. Like it's not that it's a negative. It's a fact that it should have already happened a long time ago. Where we should be long past this point as part of a society where everyone's treated equally and equal jobs, equal pay, all that stuff. There's no reason that just because you're a man, woman, the color of your skin, your ethnic, or anything like that, to not be a base factor for any of this. It should be your skill level. That's the most talked about thing instead of this stuff that can't be controlled. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Sorry, go ahead. Say something.
Yeah, no. I was just basically I'm done with with saying why the importance or lack of importance that it should be. So
in terms of like I guess like super duper relevance, I guess like it should getting a female composer as opposed to a male composer should matter just as much as like getting a left-handed composer. I think we should have more left-handed people in the world because they are technically the only right-minded people. But yeah, it is great to see that they're reaching out. I am not too familiar with the woman herself, but it's definitely super intriguing to have a kind of a different approach to the film. Sandy, what was the news to you that stood out this week?
Well, I love I love the fact that that we're getting. I'm sorry. What was the first thing that we talked about again? I've just got
Disney, Comcast, Fox.
Yeah, Comcast, Disney, Fox.
Yeah, let's talk about that right now. Let's get this thing wrapped up. Like, we have an entire group of fans out here that I don't know if you're listening to us, Fox, Disney, and whoever else, Comcast that's above this. And I'm looking straight at you. Get this sorted out because we want all the comic book movies. We want all the characters. We want everything. Infinity War wasn't enough. We want the next one to have everybody. I want to open up the comic book and I want to walk into a movie and gatefold cover that shit. I want to see everybody. So let's get this done and over with. I want Disney. I don't care if it's Disney. I don't care if it's Comcast. I don't care who it is. I'd like it to be Disney because I'd love for all the Marvel properties to be with Disney. You know what? But that's not going to happen because Sony still owns a crap of them too. Just stop. Like, give it to us already. Just throw your billions down the hole. Give it to somebody because I just want the whole thing over and done with. I want to watch as many comic book movies as possible. Give me until there's no more left. And that's why I say this, because I want there to be comic book movies until I die. So let's get the deal done. If you need to throw an extra billion on the fire, throw an extra billion on the fire. Just get it done. Come on, you make enough money.
Malcolm, take that video of Sandy just like looking into the camera like that and make some sort of meme or gift or something.
Make it into something. It's the best ever.
Yeah.
Are you not entertained?
I am.
Very, very, very entertained.
when Marvel just this happened as like a meme, and like Sandy's right up here, and it's like when Marvel does Secret Wars, but they don't include any of Fantastic Four. It's like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Give it,
Malcolm. I want to go to you. I want to go to you on this. I feel actually we're all pretty big Disney fans here. But the Dumbo trailer, very surprised it got released, considering that that's not till March of 2019. I'm kind of skeptical-ish. Tim Burton, as a director, has been kind of hit or miss, and I mean, with Alice in Wonderland, I enjoyed the first movie that he did. I didn't see the second one, but I heard it was a steaming pile of dog shit. And just like the cast that they're bringing in, it seems like they're kind of like relying on that star power to kind of draw everybody in, not so much as like the retelling of like this animated classic pretty well. So your thoughts on Dumbo, I guess, and any other big news in your world?
Yeah, the Dumbo trailer is like it didn't. I mean, I don't think they're going for this star power, because in the trailer you barely saw like all the confirmed like stars. I don't like you saw few human people, but you didn't see like the big name stars like Dan DeVito much in the trailer. They were focusing on there, and I mean, for me, I actually liked the trailer, because when I heard that Dumbo was being remade, it was like not. Because I mean, I loved the original Dumbo animation movies, like, and I didn't really want them to ruin it. And after seeing the trailer, it kind of relieved my fears a little bit, because it actually does look really good. And the thing is, Tim Burton had one of my favorite Tim Burton movies is Big Fish, which also had a circus element in it, and that circus part in that movie was really good. So I know he can do circus well, and that he does do normal movies. And I mean, anyone in the Atomic Nation group knows that I'm famous for my hot takes about movies. I actually enjoy a lot of his movies.
All right, awesome. Yeah. Case, what stood out to you in the world of Hollywood happenings?
I haven't seen the Dumbo trailer. I'm sorry. Anyway, with that out of the way, yeah.
Case, you're not missing much.
Okay, so yeah, I'll check that out at one time. I don't have time to watch the trailer.
You now go live to radio.
Anyway, the thing that stood out to me, Comcast, Disney, and Fox is still going on, and at one point that will get resolved, and we'll finally see what the hell is happening over there. But the thing that stands out to me is the female composer thing. I actually rewatched Wonder Woman today. It was like the third time that I saw that movie. I think the movie is fine. I don't think it's that great of a movie, and I am basing that off the fact that it's a movie. I'm not basing it off the fact that it has like women, it has female representation. Like it has a female director and it has a big female cast. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. And most of them do a very good job. But I'm basing it off how it is as a movie. And I think that the visual effects in that movie are terrible. I think that the score, whoever did it, is good. I think that the No Man's Land scene is amazing. But like, I do have a couple of issues with that movie, and I think that in the end it's fine. And that will probably label me as a sexist for not loving a movie with female representation, because it's 2018 and it needs to be a thing. And I'm like, why does this need to be a thing? I have a lot of respect for women. I've had a lot of respect for women all my life, essentially. My mother brought me up on that. My mother essentially raised me and my sister, and I have a shit ton of respect for her and just women in power. But for some reason, in 2018, it's still an issue, and that's why they are addressing the fact that there is a female composer. And I'm like, address it, but don't make it like a huge deal of it. It's a female composer for a comic book movie. It's the biggest thing ever. And I'm like, in like 2 years, people are going to forget about this stuff. So, like, with this kind of stuff, I get that representation is important in movies, but why do we still have to deal with it? That is essentially and I wanted to talk about that because I'm like, it's not for me. I don't think it should be addressed as big as it is because they really make a big deal out of it, and I'm like, can we just get along with the fact that there are female composers and directors and actresses in this world, and that it's fine that there are women in power, and that's fine, because for some reason that's still an issue, and I don't understand why. That's a very political debate.
I'm not going to leave case to hang out to dry on that one there. I'm also one of those people that thought Wonder Woman was good. I thought it was probably better than good, but it wasn't groundbreaking. It was a good superhero movie. It was a good origin story. It just wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't remarkable. Like it wasn't Infinity War. Like what I mean. But I'll also say this. I think that the concept art right now for Wonder Woman 84 looks fantastic. So if they can keep on progressing, but it's the same thing I thought with Black Panther. Black Panther was an amazingly cultural there. But I'll tell you what, out of the two Marvel movies that came out around the same time, Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther, I had more fun at Thor Ragnarok. Did I love the visuality of Black Panther and the acting and Killmonger as a bad guy and Claw as a bad guy, and to see more of that, I really did. But I had more fun watching Thor Ragnarok. So for me, it's not only about the social importance of the movie that I'm watching. The movie also has to have that level of the movie
awesome. Needs to be a good movie.
Yeah. So
besides the representation.
I have an opinion on Black Panther. I actually think that Killmonger is one of the weaker villains of the MCU.
Thank you.
But because just to kind of bring it up very quickly, because the aspects of Black Panther that I do love. Visually, it's a super amazing film, and just the concept of how it's like the super technologically advanced company. Are the super technologically advanced country, but yet when it comes to process and tradition, they're very old school, and they go about these processes to determine the true leader, I guess. But anybody else notice some similarity in Killmonger and Black Panther? How Black Panther has technology but doesn't want to use this.
They're the same.
It's
every other MCU villain.
No. Like when I found it, I actually found it very similar to Magneto and Charles Xavier, where Magneto is essentially Killmonger. Killmonger wants technology to benefit his own people, whereas Black Panther is he just wants to be one among society and just blend in.
Same coin, two different sides.
Yeah. Also, some of the worst CGI in a end fight scene. Could have swore it came out of like a PS3 game. But enough about that. Actually, speaking of video games, a great segue to get into our pop culture segments. For all the, sure.
About Tim Burton and Dumbo. I was never actually a big fan of the Dumbo as a kid or anything. Like it's probably like one of my least favorite Disney films, especially from when I was growing up. But it's just like I'm actually really excited for this. Like you throw Tim Burton in with these reboots or live action remakes. Like you look at Alice in Wonderland. That movie was freaking fantastic. The Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. Like both those movies are really, really great films. So I'm actually really, really excited to see what Tim Burton can do with Dumbo. Like,
okay,
I just want to put that out there.
You're just wrong at this point. Sorry.
Alice in Wonderland, I agree. Charlie and Chocolate Factory, not so much.
Okay, then I'll agree with you on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory being crappy, and also Alice in Wonderland being extremely crappy. Like you have to do the X in the extreme for extremely.
Any cool kids in the chat? Anything?
I just wanted to be a troll there for a second.
Yeah,
Chris agrees with us that Killmonger is weak as AF.
Factual.
Jonathan Peake wants to know what we think about Todd Phillips' Joker having a small budget.
Well, too many Joker movies. Let's move on. Way too many Joker movies. Way too many.
It can work, but it depends on the concept. Like you look at a movie like Paranormal Activity that had a small budget and just made its money back tenfold. But yeah, I'm not. I mean, they can go big budget and small budget. It all depends really on what they want to do. But enough about that. Let's get into the pop culture segment today. And as you can tell by the thumbnail of our video today, we're talking about video game franchises. For all the video game nerds like myself, everybody would have known that E3 took place last weekend into Monday. There were some huge announcements. I was following the Nintendo stuff. We got to see some insight into Smash Bros. Ultimate. There was some DLC for the Mario and Rabbids game. Super Mario Party got announced, which looks super fun.
Oh yeah.
E3 has always been a great few days in terms of just announcements. Like I remember when the Xbox One got announced, I was actually writing notes so I could pass it on to friends and just so I could keep people informed.
What a big deal that was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember. It was that console had some of the worst marketing ever. Just off of initial launch. But yeah, usually in E3, they announce tons of sequels. I know Halo Civilization got announced, but usually the continuation of these big franchises get launched, and this is where we got inspired for this countdown of the top the top video game franchises. So how it's going to work, guys, like we do everyone, we're going to go five down the road, 4 down the road, 3 down the road, all the way down to number 1. If you have a spot, if you have something in your list and it's and there's one separating it, we'll call that a punt. Any questions? I think we're all good. Malcolm, we'll start with you. What is your number 5 video game franchise?
My number 5 is probably going to be an interesting choice for a lot of people because this game series has been known for having a lot of bugs at times, and a lot of people may criticize me for enjoying it so much. But I mean, it's WWE 2K. I enjoy that game franchise a lot. It's I like reliving wrestling and creating my own feuds and stuff. So.
Interesting. Harley is Harley is now.
I'll get into it on my turn.
Okay. I mean, is it a punt for you, Harley, or
no?
So it didn't make your list. Okay.
No, it did make my list, but I'll get into it when it's my turn.
But it's not okay. So it's not a punt, but it did make your list. Interesting to hear. Yeah, WWE 2K. I haven't played them a whole lot, but I know for the diehard wrestling fans, it is super fun. I have a similar kind of pick on my list, but I'll get into that later. Sandy, we'll go to you next. Your number 5 video game franchise.
My number 5 is a game that I still haven't finished. Because it's so freaking hard and I can't get by one room, and every once in a while I'll pull my PlayStation 3 out and slide in the greatest hits collection and try to get out of that damn room in God of War. The God of War franchise is fantastic. I love it because I am a huge mythology person. I love Greek mythology. I love everything about it. I wanted to name my firstborn male child Achilles, but I've yet to find a woman that would let me do that. Because Achilles is my favorite Greek hero of all time. I read the Iliad when I was 9 years old. I read the Odyssey the next year. I have gold-plated hardcover copies of both because I love this junk as much as anybody possibly can. And the God of War franchise gives me everything when I play those games, except that I can't ever get to anything because I'm stuck in that stupid room with the boxes. anybody knows how to get by that dumb, stupid room where you got to jump up the boxes and try to get to, then you can message me personally and let me know, because I can't do it. But that's my number 5.
There's a thing called the internet. It can probably help you.
But you see YouTube videos on it.
Okay, so that is Malcolm's actually number 4. So I'll let Malcolm talk about that. Talk about it as well. Malcolm, what is it about God of War that interests you so much?
I mean, like pretty much the same as Sandy. Really, is like it goes in deep into Greek and with the newest one, Norse mythology. And I'm not sure which room Sandy's talking about, but so I can't tell from there. But yeah, it's just one of those ones. Like the character Kratos was developed so well over the games, and in the newest one, he's actually voiced by Teal'c from Stargate. And I mean, it's just one of those. It combines two of my favorite things: Stargate and God of War.
Cool. All right, so we now go to Harley for her number 5 franchise.
My number 5. This is just because I guess you could say hate playing it. I have to go with Malcolm's with the WWE games, but it's just like they're so goddamn glitchy and so goddamn broken. They're broken games. I just play them because I like playing wrestling games, and unfortunately, they're the only wrestling games out there. All they do in each update each year is they take away stuff. They barely add anything new. Everything's glitchy. It's broken. Like it's so hard. Sometimes it's so hard to do stuff. The game, it's a terrible game. EA doesn't give a damn about it anymore. The THQ games were better. Like No Mercy 2000 is probably like the best wrestling game out there besides Fire Pro Wrestling game, a game from Japan, which is just absolutely fantastic. It's just like I just play it because like I like playing wrestling games. Even the GM mode, like the universe mode, like that stuff's just like so broken, but it's the only chance I get to do something like that. Oh my god!
When wrestling games went from A, B, and directional button to A, B, / R1, R2, 15, trigger, blast, jump off this, hit this, flip your eyelids upside down and play. As soon as it went to that, all wrestling games became garbage.
Yeah, to a point. It's just like here,
punch.
You want to do a game like that? Here, SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. That's probably like one of the best. SmackDown 2 and then SmackDown Here Comes the Pain are probably two of the best.
Does it have more than 2 buttons, Harl?
Yeah, no, but
they're still. So Sandy, I feel like you would be a great advocate for the game Dive Kick, which is literally 2 buttons and it's one.
Yeah, and Sandy, don't get me wrong. I played all the arcade games when I was a kid, like WrestleMania, the arcade game, In Your House. There's several other ones there that I played too at the arcade and all that back in the 90s. But it just like this stuff currently.
Younger than I am, so
EA knows that the WWE fans a lot of them will buy their game no matter what. So it's just an easy cash cow where they don't have to do much and don't have to have a lot of focus on it. So they don't care about the buggy or the brokenness of the game, which is very, very unfortunate. It's like there's a lot of potential for it to be a good game, but they just don't care.
All right. So now, just the way things are on my screen.
Number 5. So I just that's number 5, just because I play it a lot. So
yeah. I'm gonna go next for my number 5, and this is, I guarantee you that Case does not have this on his list, but it is similar to Malcolm and Harley, how they were both sports games, but I'm going with the Madden franchise. I just got into Madden last year with Madden 18. I had played it a little bit with Madden. Whichever one had Larry Fitzgerald and Troy Polamalu on the cover. I think that was Madden 08, or either Madden 08 or Madden 10.
It's probably 09 because you said 08 because you got to eat your sandwich.
Yes. Gotta go with my sandwich on Powerade. But yeah, Madden is this great thing. It's pretty well 2 tiers: casual play and then ungodly super competitive play. Where you think about even the pre-play snaps where it's just like, all right, based on the defense we're gonna alter all these. There's so much that you can do in the game to kind of one up your opponent, and it's such a mental game. I even tried playing online a couple times, and I thought I was good because I was beating the all pros for CPUs. That online game is a whole other battle, and it's super fun playing against friends. It is great, and although it's been kind of the same thing year after year after year, but they just add a couple of things here and there, and they expand their roster. Graphically, they've improved since their beginning, which I believe was '96. All right, so now we go to Case. Your number 5 franchise.
Yeah, I have a probably very unconventional list because I already have the feeling that it's going to be very different from your guys's, because this is just based off the games that I like. I've played, and one exception because it's that franchise and everyone has it on their list. So my number 5 is a small franchise. I think you might have heard of it. It only has a few games. It's Far Cry. I don't know.
I've heard of it, especially the U-Bowl piece of shit movie.
Yeah. No, not the movie. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the game series.
Yeah.
In terms of the games.
There's 5 of them, right?
I don't know exactly, but I've played a little bit of 1. I've played 2 over and over and over. I've played 3 over and over and over, and I played 4 for the most. Pardon me. I'm sorry, I'm drinking, so this happens. We're live. That's fun. Anywho, I've played 4 for the most part, and I really like these games. Just I've been a fan of first-person shooters, and you'll see a couple of those on my list as well. But yeah, Far Cry, I found them really entertaining games, especially the second and the third. I played them a lot more than I'm willing to admit, and I think it's a good gaming franchise. I don't know how popular it is everywhere else, but I just like it. That's why I put it on number 5.
All right, interesting for sure. Malcolm, I'll go to you next for your. Actually, no, because your number 4 already got said.
Was God of War, yeah.
It's God of War. All right, so Sandy, if you are still with us, I know you're having some technical issues there behind. What is your number 4?
So my number 4 is old school. My number 4 was probably created and played before every single person on this entire panel was not alive. Is Super Mario Kart for the Super NES system. I must have played Super Mario Kart.
That's a punt.
Oh boy.
Punt.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Fine.
Well, Sandy, excuse me. I played that when I was a kid when they first came out.
Harley, go look it up. When it came out.
When did it come out?
When did it come out? That's a good idea. I don't even know. Let's go. I'll check it. You guys move on to somebody else because I got punted.
It came out in the 90s.
All right, Harley, your number 4.
Well, kind of in the same lines towards what Sandy said there. I get. How are we? This is probably should have done this earlier, but
Harley's right.
Yeah, no, I played it when I was a little kid. I love Duck Hunt.
All right.
That damn dog making fun of me. But it just how are we doing them? As it's probably no use hiding from it. How are you doing Mario? Are we doing Mario as in general or separate?
We're separating it. I have it separated into actually 3 different parts.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess if we're doing it, then Star Wars Pod Racer doesn't count then. Okay. everyone out there, make another Star Wars pod racing game, please. That first one was awesome.
I loved it too. I agree.
Yeah, no, I guess since we're doing that way there, that actually affects my list. I guess can I? Let's go. Since we're doing that, I'm just gonna give an honorable mention to what was my number 4. Then, Grand Theft Auto, but for this year, it's going to have to be the Super Mario Brothers games. Or yeah.
Okay, so it's I have a similar. Okay, we'll talk about it because okay. So mine is I have Mario 3D. I have Mario 3D platformers. So like Mario 64, Sunshine, Galaxy 1 and 2, and Odyssey. I have that as my number 4, but we'll talk about that one later because that is a punt from Sandy. So Case, your number 4.
All right, so considering that Mario wasn't a general franchise, because I initially had that at number 4 because I've played a couple of Mario games, but if you want to specify it a little bit more, I'll go with Mario Kart. Because Mario Kart...
Punt.
God damn it.
Number 4 too. I got punted already.
Yeah, hardcore punt.
Okay, so we're punting that.
Right,
we'll talk about that later then.
So Malcolm's number 3.
My number 3 I've got is the Batman Arkham series.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great
This
I
game
haven't got it.
This game was so well made, and there's rumors at the moment that Rocksteady's doing a Superman game in that same vein. But
as long as they bring back Superman 64, I'm happy.
But yeah, it's like everyone as a kid, everyone wants to be Batman. Most people want and they just want the fact you actually get to play him and like go into the Batcave, go everywhere that you want to fight all these classic villains. It sort of lives out your childhood fantasies, and this style is just so amazing and incredible. And yeah, it's just words can't quite describe how good it was. And they brought back I believe it was Kevin Conroy in the main games, and Origins was someone else.
It was Troy Baker, I think, who did Batman in that one. Yeah. Made by Ubisoft Montreal. But yeah, in terms of the Arkham games, that's where I got my love for Scarecrow as my favorite Batman villain ever. Actually more so than Joker. But super story. A super story, some great replayability. Those damn Riddler trophies were super hard. And the Easter eggs. Like my favorite Easter egg is when it's in Arkham City, Arkham City, when you go to that boat and then you can decode it to get down to the basement, and it's actually like a teaser to Arkham Knight, where it has the Scarecrow teaser and the guy strapped to the chair, and you get a bit of a scare depending on the time that you get it. And it's kind of waking up or whatever. But a super fun series. So we gotta go to Sandy for his number 3.
All right, so this is the one where I get to disagree with Kays a little bit because you mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to cut him some slack because he's been sipping some beers over there, and they make them bigger up in Europe. So, but Super Mario Brothers actually does have a franchise. Super Mario 1, original, Super Mario 2, Super Mario 3, where you could fly and you had a little raccoon hat and the tail. So my pick is for number 3 is the Super Mario Brothers franchise, because I had a ton of fun playing those games. They were just great. Super Mario 1 is still... Huh?
I just haven't played them.
Oh, no,
I know
no.
that they exist. And I like them.
Dude, Super Mario 3 is one of the best games out there. It just is. But Super Mario 1 was the first game that I ever learned all by myself how to cheat the game, which was to jump on that stupid turtle over and over and over again at the top of that block ladder and get many lives. And just kept on doing that. You could walk away. You could put the controller down and go to the bathroom or go get a sandwich or something like that. And you would just so yeah, no, it was great. I'm really bad at video games. My brother was the video game complete nutball. He could play a game and finish it in an hour. It was no joke, legit, no joke. You could just get on, bang, and it was done. He just knew it. But I was horrible at it. I would have to spend all my allowance playing video games at the arcade. He'd only have to spend a quarter and play all day. But Super Mario was the one that we would compete at the most because we were level while he was there. I was sort of here. But Super Mario for me, the first one, the granddaddy who started them all, on the NES system. So my number 3.
Does anybody else have? Yeah, imagine Harley. Do you have Super Mario?
Sandy, for that one there, I started playing the second one.
Second one's good too.
Oh yeah,
they're all good.
Oh yeah,
I agree. Super Mario 2 was the one that I played. I think Super Mario World though is better than Super Mario Bros. 3. Although I am a big fan of Super Mario Bros. 3. I had I didn't have the 2D platformers on there, but I did have the 3D ones. I think they're just better in terms of like they have a great story. Sunshine is my favorite, but Galaxy has probably like one of the best stories in any game. They really flush out Rosalina and have a great story regarding that. But yeah, I have the Mario 3D platformers. Odyssey has taken the Switch by storm. It's had some great replayability. Galaxy was super innovative. People are still playing Sunshine to this day. And then if you look at Super Mario 64 and what that's done for the speedrun community in terms of like 120-star runs, 60-star runs, 5-star runs, 0-star runs. You can beat the game without getting a single star. And what that's done for the speeder community has just been phenomenal. Harley, I want to go to you next for your number 3.
For my number 3, okay, yeah. This is where the list gets really tough, but today, my number 3 is gonna be the Pokemon franchise.
That was on my list, and I had to take it off because
Too many Mario games.
I had to take Pokemon off last minute because there's another franchise that I had to talk about, and I knew Pokemon was going to get talked about.
Yeah, honestly, this year's for number 3 wise, it would definitely have the Pokemon franchise or the Smash Bros. Franchise. But it just. Unfortunately, I have to readjust my list now with the whole Mario stuff. I thought that was one whole thing. But I want to give an honorable mention to Smash Bros. But it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Sandy, you're saying?
Yeah, I've got about 60 seconds left before my laptop dies. I'm going to give you guys my final 2. I'm not going to say much about them, but even if you punt them, that's fine. But these are my 2 favorite video game franchises of all time. But I'm going to give you the specific game that's my favorite, my favorite out of the franchises. My number 2 is Metal Gear, and specifically Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation. I played that game nonstop. Forever. I still have a memory card for my PlayStation that still has my saved game of Metal Gear Solid, and I'm pimped out. I have everything. I finished everything.
Shanny, hurry up.
You're still here. Hurry up.
And
I think he's gone.
We lost him. I'm sure he'll message. He'll message me what his number 1 is. But now we go on to my number 3.
He wasn't lying about his computer there.
This might be a punt. I'm not sure. I feel like this should be on somebody's list at least. That'd be the Halo series.
I don't have it. I haven't played it.
Halo.
I'm sorry, but Mario takes up honestly, Mario should have taken out 4 of my spots, but
I only have one spot for Mario. The rest is all different franchises.
Okay, so here I have to kind of explain sort of my childhood. I was a Nintendo guy for years and years and years and years and years, and then and then 360 came around, and Halo and the specific 3 came around.
Hello there. Sorry.
All right. Excuse me. Halo 3 pretty well created online, or not created on a matchmaking, but that was the boom. That's where it all started. Was with Halo 3. Some of the best multiplayer games to this day. Beats Call of Duty by a mile. Some of the greater storytelling. I mean, there was this mini movie, Forward Unto Dawn. Case, you have a big fucking smirk on your face there. You're kind of the big person on my screen. What are your thoughts on Halo?
I'm not gonna say anything about Halo. You just mentioned something else that I have higher on my list that I'll get into later.
Oh, so somebody's a big Call of Duty fan. Alrighty then. Alrighty.
I think I'm up next with my number 3, though.
You are up next with number 3.
Yeah, my number 3 is Assassin's Creed, which is a game that
That's my number 2.
Oh, well, let's talk about this then. Because Assassin's Creed is a game franchise that I didn't really get into until Black Flag. Black Flag was my introduction to it, and I was like, God, this game is awesome. And then I went back to 1 and 2. I think 1 is fine in terms of a starter, but it didn't live up to what it could potentially be. But then again, like, it is a very good starter, I think. And then 2 is great. I got a couple in between that I just don't really remember. Also because I haven't played most of it, but also they weren't that memorable. The thing is, Black Flag was amazing, and I actually want to get a PS4 at one point and get more Assassin's Creed games, because this game franchise is still going strong, I think, and I think they have a lot of good games. And God, Black Flag is such a good fucking game, and I love it, and I really want to play it again. So those are my thoughts on Assassin's Creed. Malcolm, what are your thoughts?
Just like the same reason I like God of War, Assassin's Creed, the history aspect of it was what attracted me to the game. And I mean, I don't actually know where they're going, honestly, because they're going further back in time from where Origins came place. Was Origins related to Egypt, but yet in Odyssey, which was announced at E3, it's going back to ancient Greece, which is 400 years before Origins. And my brother told me because I haven't actually finished Origins, but right at the end of Origins is when the Creed is actually formed officially. So I don't know where they're going now, but yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I also do want to say that Assassin's Creed Black Flag is essentially the Pirates of the Caribbean game that we never got. Because if you've ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean, and if you've ever played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry for yawning there. All right, so now we go to Malcolm. That was your number 2, Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
Harley is AFK. So go to my number 2, which was a punt from earlier, and that is the entirety of the Mario Kart franchise.
Yes.
What great fucking games! I mean, other than
that's a punt.
Punt? Oh,
You have it at 1? Jesus Christ!
All right. By law of top 5, I guess we gotta consider that a punt. Case, your Harley, you're number 2.
Yeah, if Harley's here.
Yeah.
My number 2, Mario Party. Mario Party franchise. I talk about a game.
I consider this, but like the later iterations, I was like, they're not great. Yeah.
I enjoy most of them. Most of them, like, and most of them is definitely saying something because there's so many. But and no, it's a real. Granted, I'm a big fan of the 64 and like the multiplayer on there. Like just like my favorite multiplayer game of all time is of course GoldenEye, which that game I'll play now and still enjoy that. Well, these games I'll enjoy play now and enjoy the hell of them. But Mario Party, it's a game that you can play with a bunch of friends. You can have a lot of fun. You can start fights, but and if you steal my stars, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. Don't steal my stars. Word of advice: don't steal my stars, especially for when we start up the Mario Party 4 tournament that we're doing over at Take 3 Family Game Night coming up.
Right here at Take 3.
Yeah. Don't take my stars. You take my stars. I'm coming after you.
Yeah, I cannot guarantee, I cannot deny nor guarantee that I will be not taking your stars. I will be taking them. I am part of that.
I don't need a passport to come get you. I don't need a passport to attack.
If you can figure out where I live, I will give you $100 bill when you arrive at my house.
I'll ask.
But yeah,
I'm sure you talked with Alex about it. I'll get it from Alex.
In terms of the Mario Party franchise, 2, 3, and 4 are definitely the best. But I like 6 through 8 are okay, and then they ventured into the DS, and they're like, it's okay, but they're not great. I feel like they just kind of stopped at even 5 was fine, but it kind of stopped for me after 5. But I'm curious to see what they do with Super Mario Party.
Oh, that game looks hella fun. Like,
it does.
Fun.
So now we are on to
anyone else have a number 2 they need to speak with?
Yeah, cases number 2.
Yeah, so my number 2 is a video game franchise. It's based off of this little franchise, a motion picture franchise that you might have heard of, which is called Star Wars. Of course, Star Wars is on my fucking list. Are you kidding me? Like, Star Wars has made amazing games. Huh? What?
You like Star Wars, Case? I wouldn't have known.
It's from a planet like super close, right? Yeah.
So, Star Wars has some of the most amazing games, at least to me, that I've played, which I absolutely love. And they've been around for a long time. Like, they started in the 90s with their games, and some of them weren't that great. But the 2000s, seriously, Star Wars has made insanely amazing games. Knights of the Old Republic, Republic Commando, Empire at War 2, by the way. Lego Star Wars, which essentially started the entire Lego games franchise. Lego Star Wars started that. Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy, Lego Star Wars 3, the Clone Wars. You have so many Star Wars games which are so fucking good. And I played all of them because, yes, I think I might love Star Wars a little bit too much than the average person. So, yeah, Star Wars is my number 2 for a reason. That's it.
Oh, yeah, no. I really do agree with that. Like, the current Battlefront games aren't the best. Like there's a lot of controversy there. Like the Star Wars Battlefront.
That is an amazing game.
Star Wars Battlefront 2, like that. I played this crap out of that game so much. I love that game. There were even spin-offs for the handheld systems for the Battlefront games, and those were fun too. Like of course, Shadows of the freaking Empire. I love that the book, the comic books, the book. And the game, I played a lot of time like the Hoth battle, in Battlefront. Shadows of the Empire, awesome, and of course Rogue Squadron. I remember Rogue Squadron. How awesome is that? Just like there's a cheat code where you can instead of a spaceship or a fighter craft or something like that, you can drive a Buick. You can be as a rebuke that's a fighter in space. Need I say more?
No.
Just like the Star Wars games,
Really,
like I was saying,
no,
Star Wars
say
Pod
more.
Racer. Star Wars Pod Racer. That's an awesome game right there. I love that game.
It is for sure. So now we
Lego
go.
Star Wars. Lego Star Wars.
Yes, oh yeah, Lego Star Wars for sure. I played the ever shit into those games, and some great replayability. So now we go to Malcolm's number one. Yeah.
My number one's probably not going to come as a surprise to most people who know me, but my number one is Kingdom Hearts. I mean, a lot of people love Disney, and this game series has been going strong. And to think that we're finally getting number 3 after waiting 13 years since when 2 was released for the final part of the series is incredible. I mean, there's been so much Game Boy ones that have came out before, and it's just so much. And even with 3 for the first time, it's going to be on Xbox as well as PlayStation. I don't know if they're re-releasing the first few games on Xbox as well, so they can get to know the story. A lot of my friends who are Xbox players want that, but it may happen. Whether it'll happen when 3 gets released, who knows? But I mean, they've been working really hard to get 3 out. It's been in production for about 5 years since it was first released, and to think it's actually finally coming at the end of January next year is amazing. And the E3 reveals, they're going back to Pirates of the Caribbean, they're going to Frozen, Tangled, and even bringing in Pixar franchises now. It's there's so much you can do. I enjoy going to so much of the worlds that for the most part I just watched in the movies, and actually walking around places like the Olympus Coliseum, Under the Sea, and even on the Black Pearl and the Pirates of the Caribbean world, which is just all really good. And the graphics just look like they're getting really stepped up in this one.
Cool. Yeah, haven't played Kingdom Hearts games, but they look super fucking interesting. Final Fantasy meets Disney. I mean, they've created some great games there for sure. Harley, I now go to you for your number one.
I think we already know this one. It really was a toss up between my number one and number two, but just for the consistency of pretty much the games are always just as good as the last, and they started off very, very strong. But also, for my worst video game character of all time, I'm probably going to have to go with Wario. Wario is the absolute crappiest and worst character of all time. Oh wait, wrong list. That's for you, Chris Clark. That's for you.
Oh my god, that was the best thing.
Yeah, I know, but my favorite is of course Mario Kart.
Yay!
Like that game, that's a franchise that's been going strong for what, really close to 30 years now, and it's just like the game. Sure, there's a couple bad games, but over 30 years and consistently putting out new games and all that stuff, like that's not a bad average right there. But it's just like their games are just, once again, for multiplayer, like they're just so much fun to play, and once again to ruin friendships. That damn bomb, blue cell, or that lightning bolt, like those are game changers. The bill, like all that, like those items, like the tracks are awesome. Rainbow Road. It's just like if you can master that one, there you've got some damn skill.
Unless we're talking about the N64 version where it's all railed.
Well, there's a bunch of different Rainbow Roads, and
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, but it just comes down to it. Just like the game is just so much fun to play, and you don't have, people of any skill level can play, have a blast, and you can. And it's just like a fun franchise to play. You can pop in any game like Double Dash. Double Dash is just a blast.
Double Dash is the greatest of the
Oh
Mario
yeah.
Kart. With
Definitely is.
with DK Mountain being the best track of all time.
Oh,
I
and,
played.
and just Jim Green, if you watch this, I have no idea what you're talking about when you say when you have negativity towards Double Dash. So eat that.
Yeah. Mario Kart was my number two. I played the ever loving bejesus out of Mario Kart Wii, Double Dash, and 64. I unfortunately never bought a Wii U or a Switch, so I've only played Mario Kart 8 whenever my brother came home for a little bit. I did venture mobile games a little bit. Mario Kart 7 was okay. I played Super Circuit on the Game Boy Advance. But a great series that has stayed consistent for the most part, and has grown really from its conception to where it is now. I mean, you look at look at the graphics and like the characters and the different kind of tracks and the concept that they have. It amazes me every time when they put out a new one into the franchise. People are always speculating as to like what sort of tracks that they're going to do, what ones they're going to bring back to sort of modernize. But yeah. So now we go to my number one. Really surprised it hasn't gotten mentioned. It's fucking Super Smash Brothers. That franchise has been gold since its inception with Super Smash Bros. For the N64. I played. I probably wore out my disc for Super Smash Bros. Melee. Played the ever loving crap out of Wii. I haven't played as much Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, but I did play the 3DS version, and it was good. Whenever they brought it over to the handheld, but like the playability, the characters, I'm sure we'll have a discussion about this later, probably tomorrow even. But I love Super Smash Bros. Such a fun game, and then again, like I mentioned with Madden, how it's back and forth with like a very casual play, or like a super competitive play on levels of like, even like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, where you see Super Smash Bros. Being brought into like Evo events. But yeah, Super Smash Bros. Is my number one. Case, I'm pretty sure I know what your number one is. I'm going to berate you about it, but please tell us what it is.
No, you guess it.
Is it Call of Duty Black Ops?
Not Black Ops. No. It is Call of Duty though, because I have spent thousands upon thousands of hours on multiplayer on these games. Now I know that Call of Duty has been kind of dead for the last 5 years. I don't care. I have spent so many fucking hours on Modern Warfare 2, and Black Ops 2 that I don't even know how insanely invested I was in that, how obsessed I was with that. I had a pretty good kill death ratio on that one, which I'm still proud of. It's like 1.6 or something. Like, I loved those games. Those were like a big introduction for me to gaming over 10 years ago. Like I think the first Modern Warfare came out about 11 years ago. I'm not really sure about that, but like I played that game and I was like, holy shit, that was a groundbreaking game for that time. It really did a lot of it just did a lot for games in general, and especially for multiplayer. And then how it continued, like Modern Warfare 2 was a good follow-up. I don't think that it is as great as the first one. I just think Modern Warfare 2 was definitely a very good follow-up to that one. Modern Warfare 3 disappointed me a little bit. Black Ops in general disappointed me. Black Ops 2 was great, though, and had a great multiplayer that I really enjoyed, which I played so many hours on. So, yeah, like, I've spent so many hours playing Call of Duty that I had to put it number one, over Star Wars even. So, yeah, that's my number one.
I actually disagree with you. I think Black Ops is my favorite, especially what they did with the zombie franchise, or with the zombie mode, I guess. And
I was not a fan of zombie mode, so that's why.
Oh, really? Oh, man, love zombies. And then, like, with the Black Ops, you don't get Nuketown, my favorite map in the game.
Yeah, Nuketown is in Black Ops 2. That's
yeah. I stopped playing after Black Ops 2. The one, like, and I played that a little bit. I used to be that kid that would go to the midnight releases, stay in line for 4 hours. A bunch of us would go, and then as soon as we got home at midnight, we'd go play for a while. But yeah, for me, over the years, Halo has been the better franchise, I guess. I feel like their philosophy of, like, spreading out games over a couple of years and letting people kind of just kind of play out the games has worked. But yeah, I think that is it. It's it. Oh, Sandy's number one. He sent it to me. A great series. I put out, excuse me, some phenomenal games. Final Fantasy, and his favorite game being Final Fantasy.
Say that.
Yeah, his was Final Fantasy, and his favorite game in that series being Final Fantasy VII, which I think a lot of people is their favorite, especially with Cloud of the character. I think this might be a good time to end the show. We're coming up at midnight, which is where I wanted to end the stream.
Should we quickly rank them, or just leave it as is?
Just leave it as is. That's what we've done the last few weeks.
Okay.
All right, so I do want to thank our panelists for coming on today. Sandy, although unfortunately wasn't able to finish it out with us, you can find him on Full Metal Geek. I'm not sure what his Instagram or Twitter is, but you can find him there. There'll be trivia everywhere in the universe, pretty well. We'll go to the Canadian Nightmare herself, Harley Bork. Harley, where can the cool kids in the world find it?
Well, there's this spiel where I can go anywhere, everywhere. I'm all over the place. You all know that. But up in the really near future, me and Tim are making our return. We've been a tag team for almost a year now. We've had one match in a different league, but we're teaming up again. The Can-Am Express is back, baby. We're taking on this team known as
Ranger Dudes.
Ranger something. Is it Ranger or whatever? Ranger.
Yeah, it's Ranger Dude.
One person's the dude, one person's the Red Ranger. So, yay, let's go with that. The Ranger Dudes. RJ, Andrew. RJ, I don't care what you say. Our feud will continue. It will never end. I am everywhere, and I'll never stop. Never, ever, ever stop. We're going to. I found out that you guys joined Atomic Nation, which, really, oh, you had to join them.
Good choice.
You do realize you're severely outnumbered here, 3-1.
Yeah, you definitely are, Harley.
There's like 10,000 members of Atomic Nation. So what? Bring it on.
Because we're a nation. It's not like. It's not like, oh yeah, it's
definition of a nation.
Wait, oh, I forgot you're with them too. Like, come on, oh, Malcolm, are you with the Atomic Nation? You are. Oh,
at one point, you were outnumbered 4-1.
Okay, that's a given, but it's just like, oh, come on. Okay, I gotta do this thing with Nico and his house full of furries. I gotta really destroy that, and just got to do what I can to hopefully take that down. And then I got to try to go piece by piece, like free up these people from these groups here. Like you guys need to be set free. And in all honesty, come on, so many people in Atomic Nation. I did not realize that. Truly.
I want to thank everybody for joining us today on late night with Atomic Nation. I'll go to the rest of our panel. Malcolm, where can the Cool Kids of the World find it?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me competing in trivia all over the place on Multiplex, World by Movie Games. I've got a fandom fight match was uploaded just before we started against Robert Parker that on Multiplex that just came up, so feel free to watch that. You can find me on Take 3 Productions, doing a bunch of stuff there. And I've got a new show starting up on Sunday called Rankum, and they will be doing Schmodown competitors. I don't quite know who's on the panel yet. I'll probably have that decided by the end of tomorrow or something. And you can find me on my own personal channel, which I should really do things on, Malcolm's Middle-earth Media.
Cool. Also, can I just one last plug? Go to Multiplex on T Public, and please pick up a Harley's List shirt. The wonderful Kane did a great job with that. Please support myself. I get none of the proceeds, so don't worry about that. Just wear it with pride and become a member of my nation, if you will.
Interesting, for sure. The Grand Admiral Case Cornelius, where can the rest of the 10,000 Atomic Nation members find you?
Everyone can find me destroying Nico in that Star Wars match that I did in the name of Atomic Nation. Yeah, that's a win for you guys, of course. You can also find me hosting There Will Be Trivia on the World by Movie Games channel, which is always fun, and especially when that over there called Canem Express is taking on the Ranger Dudes, which is a part of Atomic Nation. So that definitely is going to be a good, fun match, and Ranger Dudes go all the way.
America tried to create the Can-Am Express.
Sure. Okay. But Ranger Dudes will win anyway, so that's going to be fun. That'll be going up somewhere next week. And I'm the Dutch movie guy on YouTube, at Dutch Movie Guy on Twitter. And I think that's it.
All right, and last but not least, I'm the Black Light Broken Veil. You can find me on Jukebox Trivia. I go live every Monday. Be sure to check us out. We should go before Full Metal Media. Just to on the schedule. You can find me here Take 3 on Fridays doing this very show here, Lando Take 3, and then on Saturdays with Family Game Night. Unfortunately, I will not be at Family Game Night this tomorrow. I do have a prior commitment. But yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Take 3. Go check out World of Movie Games, Jukebox Trivia, Multibox Entertainment. Everybody community, and it is one that is built by the people that are involved. So if you want to be a part of this this family pretty well, go like a video, comment on a video, join the Facebook pages. Just be involved. Believe me, when it is good, it is great. Once again, I want to thank Harley, Malcolm, and Case for joining us today. I am the Black Lantern. Cheers, guys, and as always, drive safely.
And keep taking it.